Great question. So the question was on the subject of letting thoughts go. You have what I'm getting is letting thoughts go, and you let them go, and then they sneak in the back door. Okay. Let me make sure I have what I want to say, and then I'm going to turn it over to the room. Okay. So that sounds like a really potent, active practice where you are actively cultivating an orientation of kindness and compassion, of love for yourself. Especially, this is especially effective regarding the fact that 90% of kind of ruminative, cyclical things that we chew on and gnaw on are generally self-critical or self-referential in a negative way, or even in a positive way. Like, thinking up what I should have said to that argument 10 years ago and propping myself up in that way, which actually isn't helpful at all. So that would be a really active way of putting your mind like a puppy on something positive and wholesome instead of whatever is going on that might not be so wholesome. Yes, sir. Referencing a teacher named Tilopa, who was a great master from the maybe West Bengal region of ancient India, whose primary instruction we know as Tilopa's 6 nails, which basically boils down to stop it, just rest. You're working too hard, you're doing too much. Can you just, and whatever arises, what's it made of? It's your own awareness. The thoughts aren't something foreign. It's you. It's this blissful play of awareness. It's the energy of the mind. And it's just arising and passing away. That thing that William said, which is going to change anyway. Everything constantly is. So even the thoughts that look real solid, especially when they're unpleasant, they're actually shot through with space, just like everything. So you guys have managed to stake out literally the 2 poles of Buddhist practice between cultivation and open awareness. I see myself doing a weird thing and causing myself harm. I'm going to stop and actively cultivate a wholesome, loving, beautiful mindset. And then Williams is like, whatever arises, that's what's arising, y'all. And it can be the object or the weather. And either way is good. And it's going to change anyway. Yes, sir? Yeah, so in a similar way to cultivating a loving attitude, kindness, compassion, the breath as object. Come back to the breath. Do something profoundly wholesome and at the same time deeply soothing. It would be in the school of actively cultivating, but maybe even more towards the middle. The breath is a neutral object, usually. But also, when you bring your mind onto something, you're like, here, puppy, chew on this instead. Here's your chew toy. Last one.
Sense object.
Treat them like a sense object. And what does that mean?
It's like a rock. It's just there. There's always something there.
There's always something.
Right? And the intentional ones, if you look at them, you can stop because you're thinking about something.
Ooh, and the intentional ones, if you look at them, you're doing something. You're fabricating something. And you can just stop doing that. These are all incredibly powerful techniques, answers, and orientations. And I thank you. So this is literally what this is for, is like groups of practitioners who are in the trenches, hand to hand, hand over hand by the string in the dark. Like, this is great. Thank you so much. What came up for me, and I wanted to share, is letting go isn't the same as pushing out the window. Letting go is more in the vibe of you don't need to make sure that that thought never comes in again. That's not what letting go is. In fact, that could even be the opposite of letting go, when you're vigilantly guarding the doorways. Letting go, when I say it, and this is something that I kind of had to adjust, because when I hear letting go, it sounds pretty like, I let go, it won't ever come back, which is funny considering how circular our neural pathways are. If you've ever thought one time, that person's looking at me weird, what did I do wrong? Guess what? You're going to think it again. And you've probably been thinking it for however old you are, -5 or 2 or 3. So letting go is more an orientation of placing yourself in the awareness as the awareness. And the thoughts come, and maybe they pitch a tent, maybe they sit down, and the less reactivity you have, the less reactivity you make, the more likely they are to just unravel and unfold on their own. And they're just made of the energy of awareness. There's no one else in there. So this is your precious mind, the infinite creativity of awareness. And fighting thoughts usually doesn't work. So it's not that Buddhas don't have thoughts that they don't like. It's that the don't like is so soft and so porous and so open. And thoughts arise, and they don't get stuck, and they don't, because all the doors and windows are wide open. There's just no resistance. So when I say, just as far as my responsibility as some knucklehead who sits up here and yaps at you, when I say let go, it is not pushing away, it is not throwing away, it is not a final getting rid of. It literally is, if I catch myself doing a thing, like you said, intentional, or I catch myself being like some kind of habitual, usually self-critical, like, oh, I'm doing that thing. And then any one of these can be an expression of letting go. I hope that serves you, and probably all of us together will get there somewhere. Thank you. Great, outstanding question. Outstanding. Isn't that funny? Thoughts don't even exist, strictly speaking. Show me your thoughts. Put it in a test tube. Weigh it, measure it. Yeah. Yeah, if it's important, it'll come back again. Also, if you don't declare war on your thoughts in the first place, no problem.
If you go to war with your thoughts, you're going to be at war forever.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. As long as you have a mind, it'll be minding. It'll be minding. The minds of the Buddhas are minding. But there's no resistance. They have waved the white flag. In the words of the great Ajahn Chah, resist nothing. Cling to nothing. Lay down your arms. Come over here where it is cool, out of the battle. That's it. Don't fight, don't declare war, don't make your mind, your heart, the universe, the enemy. Thank you. Good job.